bottom, you can see the shiny surface of the wings. That is the next step for this part of the process. Will be once the top skins have been completely cleaned and prepped for bonding and riveting, we'll pull the bottom skins and do the exact same thing with them and get everything all ready to go. A good example of the difference is this left wing here is nice and shiny. You can see the reflection, and then the reflection disappears over here in that center section because it's been scotch-brighted and prepped for painting. We'll do that to both sides on the bottom and get both sides ready to go. And once that is done, we will check the washout and move on to the bonding with the urelane and then riveting. Working on cleaning the skins and getting them ready for final fitment before gluing and installation. This is Stormy. Checking the washout. So on the center right, it is set at reference as 0. So we're 2.35 on the end of the right wing. And we're at 2.45 on the end of the left wing. Great progress on the wing. The skins are all installed and in place, top and bottom. The washout's been set. It's within the allowed deviation from wingtip to wingtip. One of the techniques that I used while we were installing the wing skins is to go through and mark the different hole patterns for the different types of rivets. So the center sections, the center skins here, acquired SK42s. So they have a bevel on the bottom side to match the dimple. So SKs were used, but different lengths are used for different parts of the wing. So on the upper surface of the wing, SK42s, which are the stainless steel, were the upper row by the control surfaces, and the center section was mostly SK42s. 43s were here, so you'll notice like right here I made a note on those to wait to put those in until we actually had the doublers in place, and the doublers replaced with glue underneath. You can see a little bit of the shine there on the upper part there. So all the surfaces were glued. So Stormy and I prepped all the ribs and the hat sections and the spars by sanding them, and then just before gluing we hit them with Scotch-Brite and then cleaned them off with acetone to make sure they were clean. And then we would mix up the glue, the urelane glue, put the glue on each seam and line, and then we would place it in place with Clecos, and then we went through and we would rivet it with the appropriate rivets. So I've already cleaned the top skins. We'll clean the bottom ones here in a second. but that's how we marked it to make sure that we were putting them in the appropriate spots. So on this side, SK42s are 40 on the bottom row of the top wing. Because there was a flange skin, it did not require the longer SK48 rivets. We used SK43s because it was just a single skin. The ends of the wings have not been riveted. Those will be riveted when the wingtips get placed. So just for now, clecos are holding it in place. So here you can see the marks. The SK42s along the top row are marked with a line all the way down. And then we used AK, which are the aluminum rivets, for all of the center section. So the centers, so the rib and the hat section are aluminum, and that prevented the skins from buckling because the aluminum have a lighter pull. And over here you'll see I wrote no rivets and marked those, so it's pretty clear. So as we were going through, we had different buckets with rivets in them. And they were on the work cart, and that then allowed us to just grab the ones that we were supposed to use, and we did it kind of in sections. So we did the top row first, and then we did the center section, the middle, and then we did the bottom row. And John was here. We helped adjusted the wingtips a little bit for the washout, but it worked out pretty well. Having the markings on the skin, we'll go through and wipe all that off here so it's clean, but the wing skins are on and the wiring is bundled up and ready to go. So the next step is going to be to fit the wing onto the fuselage and set these last two brackets, and then the wing will be ready to go. Titan Tornado build update. The wing installation for the alignment of the rear mounting brackets. So with the help of about 3 of us, we got the wing lifted up and mounted onto the fuselage. The rear mounting attachment points. There are 2 brackets that are on the left and the right. So once the front mounting points were attached with a bolt through the hole, you put a shim in here, put the wing on place. The front attachment points were secured with a bolt on each side. Then moving to the rear, there's a shim that was put in place underneath the rear point. It's a .090 shim, and that just raises the back edge of the wing up a tiny bit. And then the bolts were put in place for the 2 brackets on the rear, and then they were tightened up, and then I used a square to square them up with the top of the wings and the top of the spar, and then drilled a hole and put the clecos in, and then went through and drilled all of the holes, the remainder of the clecos. Now we'll pull those 2 straps off, we'll clean up the holes, deburr everything, and then those will get permanently mounted with the wing in place to make sure that everything stays where it's supposed to, with glue, yearling glue, and then rivets.